Good morning and once again welcome to my YouTube channel, Pearson and Excel International Maths by Mr. Kamoto. And today I want to explain the very last example of binomial expansion in pure mathematics 4. and well, we are going to combine two topics here, binomial and partial fractions, because we are told that partial fractions can be used to simplify the expansions of more difficult expressions. And this one is just going to be like what you know about partial fractions, because the very first question in example 7, this is example 7, and it is in page 40. It is in page 40 of P4. This is in page 40 of Pure Mathematics 4. It's saying that express 4 minus 5x all over 1 plus x 2 minus x as a partial fraction. And one thing that you know, this one is, of course, we should assume an unknown constant a over 1 plus x, of course, plus another unknown constant b over 2 minus x. And the fact that you just try to solve the right hand side using the LCM method, we're talking about a, the LCM is the product of this. So when you divide here, you get the other 2 minus x plus b, of course 1 plus x. This is 1 plus x, 2 minus x. So the numerator now is completely equals to this numerator, and the denominator is the same as this. And therefore, at that point, we must assume, we must recognize that 4 minus 5x is equals to a, 2 minus x plus b, 1 plus x. And to solve this, we must assume that one of these brackets is going to be nullified, is going to be 0. So let x be equals to 2. And when x is equals to 2, we have 4 minus 10, which is equals to the whole of this bracket is 0, because 2 minus 2 is 0 times whatever is 0. And then 1 plus 2 is 3, so we have 3b. So you can already see minus 6 is equal to 3b, and b itself must be equals to negative 2. That is the value of b. We need now to attempt to make this bracket 0, and that's we talk about x is equals to negative 1, and when x is equals to negative 1, when x is equals to negative 1 at a particular point, we say that 4 minus 5 times minus 1, so 4 plus 5 is equals this one is 2 minus 1 is 3, and we have 3a. And at the end of the day, we're going to have that 3a is equals to 9, and at the end of that, we will find that our a is equals to a 3. So our expansion for that particular part of the question is going to be 4 minus 5x all over 1 plus x, 2 minus x is going to be a, which is a 3, all over, now what we assumed, 1 plus x, minus plus b, which is now minus 2 all over 2 minus x. And that is just the expansion, and it is the solution of part A of our particular question. Somebody is asking us to give us the expansion of, or rather hence show that the cubic approximation of that is this. One thing we must realize is that we cannot expand this way. We must expand it in this particular format. So the cubic expansion is up to when x is raised to power 3. So what do we do? We know that part B, the cubic function of this expanding 4 minus 5x over 1 plus x, 2 minus x, up to the term x cubed is the same as expanding 3 1 plus x minus 2 over 2 minus x, of course separately, and that is what we need to understand. So an attempt to expand this is going to give us 3 1 plus x raised to power negative 1, and that is just what we have. So this one is going to be 3, open the bracket, expand this part, which is 1 plus nx plus 1 minus negative 1 times x, plus negative 1, that is n minus 2 negative 2, and then x squared over 2 factorial, plus negative 1 n minus 1 n minus 2 x cubed over 3 factorial. So when you expand now that part, when you expand that, it's going to be something to do with the following. It's going to be now 3, because 3 has to multiply everything else inside. 1 minus x, 1 minus x, and then we have, what is this? We're going to have 2 over 2, which is plus x squared, and then we have this is minus 1 minus 2 minus 3, which is negative 6 over 3 factorial, which is 6, so minus x cubed, and plus whatever we can continue further. So we open this bracket and we have 3 minus 3x plus 3x squared minus 3x cubed. That is what we have as far as that expansion is concerned, the expansion of the first bracket. Expanding the second term, which is this one, expanding the second term, which is here, then we say 2 minus x raised to power negative 1. So this one has to be 1, so it becomes 2, open major bracket, and then 2, open 1 minus x over 2 raised to power negative 1, and at that particular point, this 2 has to be affected by negative 1. So because there's a bracket there, this 2 has to be affected by negative 1, because and you can see how it's behaving. So we have 2 multiplied by 2 raised to power negative 1, 1 minus x over 2 raised to power negative 1. So 2 raised to power 1 over 2 is simply a 1. So we have 1. We have 1 which is uh, going to be now 1 minus x over 2 raised to the power negative 1. So this part becomes 1. Of course, when we multiply everything by 1, it doesn't change the value. Plus n plus negative 1. And what is x? Minus x over 2. Plus n negative 1, n minus 1 negative 2, n minus 1 negative 2. And what is x? Minus x over 2 squared over 2 factorial. Of course, plus n, which is minus 1, n minus 1, which is minus 2, n minus 2, which is minus 3, and x is minus x cubed over 2, x over 2 cubed, everything over 3 factorial, everything over 3 factorial. So at that particular point, probably we can take this one to the next page, and we have something to do with we make what, and we have 1 times 1 minus 1 plus minus 1, just the way we had it, minus x over 2 plus minus 1 minus 2 minus x over 2 squared over 2 plus minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus x over 2 cubed over 3 factorial. So it's our duty now to simplify this and have it like 1 times 1. There is a 1 there. Of course, there is x over 2 here, plus x over 2 there. Of course, there is something to do with it's going to be negative 1 times negative 2, that is 2 over 2 over 4. That is we're going to have 2 plus 2x squared over 4, because this is also multiplied by itself because of squaring, times 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 because of these 2 factorial. Of course, we have something to do with these 2 cancels with that, but let's first of all take care of this. There is minus 1 times minus 2, that is 2, times minus 6 times minus 3, that is minus 6, minus 6 times minus x squared. So plus 6x cubed, rather not squared, all over 8 times 1 over 6 because of 3 factorial. And what we have now is we can ignore this 1 because everything multiplied by 1 is going to be 1. So 1 plus x over 2, of course, plus x squared over 4 plus x cubed over 8. And that is just what we have. And we realize that this is the expansion of the second bracket. Hence, the expansion of 4 minus 5x, the original function, all over 1 plus x, 2 minus x, was supposed to be what we outlined earlier on, was supposed to be 3 1 plus x raised to the power negative 1 minus 2 2 minus x raised to the power negative 1, and we have expanded both of these. This one, we have expanded this one, and it has given us, we have expanded that one, and it has given us what we were having 3, it has given us 3 minus 3x plus 3x squared, of course, minus 3x cubed. I hope we can we can recall it here. That one we can recall it there. So having expanded that, this one gave us what we have now. It has given us what we have now, which is 1 plus x over 2, x over 2 plus x squared over 4 plus x cubed over 8. That has given us that. And you can see there's a negative sign in between. So this is going to be 3 minus 3x plus 3x squared minus 3x cubed minus 1 plus x over 2 plus x squared over 4 plus x cubed over 8. So it's just a matter of subtracting. So the whole numbers together, 3 minus 1 is a 2, minus 3x minus x over 2, minus 3x minus x over 2. So minus 3 minus a half x, that is minus 7 over 2x. And then we go to squared. 3x squared plus a quarter x squared, or rather minus a quarter x squared. This is going to be 2 3/4, because this is, if you talk about 2 3/4, is going to be 8 11 over 4. Is going to be plus 11 over 4x squared. Let's go to cubed. The cubed is minus 3x cubed minus an 8 cubed. 3 and an 8 cubed. This is going to be 25 over 8, which is negative, minus 25x cubed over 8. And that is just what we have for that particular expansion. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you follow very closely. We have expanded separately. And now part C, this is the expansion and hence shown, because the question was asking us, hence show that the cubic approximation of the original function is 2 minus 7 over 2x, which is explained in the question. Hence show that the cubic approximation of this is 2 minus 7x over 2 plus 11x squared over 4 minus 25x cubed over 8, which has been shown now here. And part C, hence state the range of values for x for which the expansion is valid. You just take each and every expansion separately, because we had 3 over 1 minus x, which is 3 1 minus x raised to power minus 1. So in this one, the modulus of x was less than 1. The modulus of x was less than 1. And the other one, you can see b is 1 and a is 1. The other one, we had 2 minus x raised to power minus 1. You can already see that b is 1, a is 2. So for this one, the modulus of x over 2, I mean b over 2, the modulus of x over 2, the modulus of x over 2 was supposed to be less than 1. And in this case, the modulus of x is less than 2. That is the range for which the expansion is valid. So if you wish now to express this one in the bracket, there is minus 2 and there is plus 2 there. There is minus 1 and there is plus 1 there. For the first one, modulus does not respect any sign. So we are talking about from there to there. But for this one, again, the modulus consists of both positive and negative, from there all the way to there. but the limits are not inclusive. So at the end of the day, you would be able to interpret this expansion and say, for both of them to make sense, for both of them to make sense, you can already see, therefore, the modulus of x has to be less than 1 for both of them to make sense. Because if we take this one, then for between -1 to -2 and +1 to 2, this expansion is not respected or does not obey. So we take the region where both of them obey. And the region where both of them obey is when the modulus of x is definitely equals to, or rather less than 1. Okay, yes, such a long question. Please follow all the steps. It's quite important, and make sure that you visit my YouTube channel, subscribed, and let us work together. All right.